I think one of the most important things about conferences like this is having takeaways that just continue to ring in your head. If you come here and everything just floods in, you get so many ideas, and you can't take any single one of them to heart and really drive it, it's really difficult to focus on many things at the same time. So it's always good when either as a speaker, as a sponsor, you actually come to an event and then you listen to the audience, you get feedback that is actionable, and then you go back and work on it. So one thing you can actually do for all of the speakers who have traveled to be here, all the sponsors who have put some resources behind this event, is to share feedback with them. If you use their tools, if you'd like to see things added, whatever it is, don't be shy. They're not really here for you to idolize them. They want actionable feedback. And being on a panel, asking questions, for them being able to ask questions about what can we do in Africa, for Africa, most likely by Africans, is actually a very powerful way to deliver your content to them. So we've come to the last but not the least session of the day, by no way the least session of the day. Please hang around. There are a couple of announcements to be made. There's information to be shared. So just don't be in a hurry to leave. I know some of you may have had a long day. Some of you want to beat traffic. Some of you may be going a very far distance, so you're kind of worried about safety. But I can assure you that some of the most beneficial things that happen at a conference are the things that happen outside the talks, right? We don't say this at the beginning because we want you to come for the talks. But towards the end of these talks, you've heard people speak, you know what resonates with you, you kind of like know the kind of style of delivery, the thinking of some of these speakers. This is a beautiful time to just single out one or two people, approach them, and get feedback. Also, it's not just the people on stage. I can assure you there are many more amazing people in the audience and around than those who are privileged to own the stage today, right? We're by no way the best coders or the best software developers, programmers, or advocates for any technology. So you don't have to look to the stage for inspiration. Find out what the person beside you is doing. Follow them on Twitter. One day you would be like, there was this guy I sat with, or there was this lady I connected with. I don't remember her handle. I don't have a contact. Don't let that happen to you, right? Just the person in front of you, the person behind you, the person on your left, on your right. Figure out what's the best way to connect with them. And it's okay if they say they don't want to share, but just try to know, what's your Twitter handle, what's your LinkedIn. You'll be very amazed that someone could actually give you an opportunity or a job or recommend you for something strictly just because they hung out with you at a conference 4 or 5 years ago. It's a strong, very useful relationship. So we're going to go into the last panel, the money part, and I think everyone should be here. This is about paid open source programs. So a lot of times people hear open source, they hear free software. There is money in open source. Am I correct? There is money? Show us the money. So can we have the panel on stage talk about paid open source programs, internships, and more? Thank you. It's in open source money. I know who I'm going to bill after this event. Let me take selfie with all of you so that I know how to bill you. Samson, you don't chop.
Okay, thank you.
Bill them. Bill them.
Are you sure you don't want to sit? I can stop.
I don't worry. Sit down. So you can. I'm fine. Okay. Hi everyone. I hope you have been enjoying the section so far, and I'm really happy that we are rounding up this year's conference with this discussion. So we are going to be discussing about paid internship in open source, and we have our panelists. They've been eating money in open source. So I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. We have questions that we set to ask them, and they're going to be telling you more about the program. So these are just few representative of each programs. We have coordinators as well. So the paid internship opportunity is not limited to this. So with everything you've learned so far, if you are wondering how to get paid or get money from open source, please pay attention to this discussion. Thank you. So we're going to start from that end. You introduce yourself.
All right. Good day, everyone. I am Rashid Mundasiru, a GitHub campus expert, basically. Most time, what I do is advocating for products on campus. Yeah, that's me, basically.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, my name is Amarachi Hianacho. I'm a software engineer and a technical writer, and I participated in the Google Season of Docs internship. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, good evening. My name is Enoch Kasada and I come from Uganda. I participated in Google Summer of Code, and in open source I contribute to Chaos and Debian.
All right, thank you.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Busayo Ujo. I'm currently interning with Outreachy, and I work as a software developer and user researcher.
Hi, everybody. My name is Samson Godi, co-founder of Open Source Community Africa, and I don't think I did GSOC. I think I did GCI, but mentor for GSOC, GSOC, and then Outreach at some point. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. So you can see we have mentors, coordinators, interns, and the funniest thing or good thing about these panelists is that all of them are not just software engineers. We have technical writers and so on and so forth. So let's get into the questions. So the first question, I'm going to be asking Busayo, then we can go this way. So Busayo is going to be telling us more about the paid internship opportunity that you are currently participating in. So tell us more about the program.
Okay, so as I mentioned, I'm currently interning with Outreachy, and Outreachy is an internship for underrepresented people or marginalized people in tech. So, and I know most of us here in Africa, by birth, we are automatically marginalized. So, Outreachy has like a span of tech stacks that you can contribute to. So we have development, we have design, user researchers, marketing, UI, UX, and Outreachy runs for 3 months, and they pay you $7,000 for 3 months.
$7,000. That's the steep part.
And I get money.
Over to you. Yes.
This one to speak. Okay, basically, I'm here to tell you about GitHub Internships. GitHub Internship program is an internship program basically from GitHub. What they plan to do is to connect students to industry experience on a paid remote internship. Organization partners come in to submit their project, and students come to apply to that project, submit assignment, and then the assignment will be reviewed for them. And at the end of the day, they get an interview invite, and after the interview, they get to the program. So every month, they get $500 for participating in the program, and as well mentorship from that particular project they are contributing to. So that's basically it's always between 1 to 6 months. Some company take 1 to 3 months. Some take 1 to 4 months, and the highest number of months they can take is 1 to 6 months, basically.
So before you pass it on, you said 500 USD, right? You said the payment is 500 USD. Okay, is it for every month or for the
Yes,
period?
I said $500 per month.
Aha.
So if you qualify to participate in a 6-month project, you'll be getting that $500 per month for the 6 months that you are going to be participating in that program.
500. Interesting. Okay.
Google Season of Docs is a paid internship to support organizations so that they can create proper documentation. It also helps technical writers to contribute to open source and get paid. It's an internship that runs from about 3 months to 6 months, and you can get paid from like 5,000 US dollars to around 10,000 US dollars.
30,000.
No, what? No, 10,000 US dollars.
10,000. Okay. Is it also per month or for the period of the
No,
internship?
for the
Okay.
period of the internship.
Awesome.
I think I've seen 15 at some point.
15,000
Yeah,
USD.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like Google Season of Docs, also Google Summer of Code is a program that's managed by Google, and it's to open source communities and projects. Basically, it runs once per year. That is from during summer. That's why it's called Summer of Code. And this project pays you depending on your region, but starting from $3,000, I think up to 5,000 or 7,000, somewhere in there. But depending on your country and your purchasing parity of the dollar, it will determine how much you get. So if you would love to contribute, you apply through a project, not through Google. Yeah, something that
Through the
people
project.
mistake.
Okay, awesome. So, Samson, the question I'm going to ask you now is, we know you have experience coordinating several of these programs, either as a mentor or as a community coordinator. Do you want to tell us other programs that have not been mentioned here that is paid?
Not
The
direct.
20,000 USD own. Let's start from there.
20 what?
20K.
So there's something called job where you just apply. But yes, I think the Google Summer of Code, Google Season of Doc, Outreachy, and I think there's Rails Girls something, summer internship, I think.
Yeah.
MLH fellowship.
Yeah, and then it's MLH. There's like a lot of opportunities out there that you get paid. I think the most important part is just for you to find yourself in the community and then ask the direct questions. Yes.
Okay, awesome. I want to ask the audience, which of these programs are you interested in? Are you jotting down? Everything. Okay, let's move to our second question. I know a lot of persons now, they now know about some paid OS programs, but they are asking because we all know that open source allows everyone, either you are first-time contributors, you're just starting out in tech, or you are an expert, regardless of the career path you are into. So is there any challenges that you think applicants face while they are applying for these programs? So you'll be telling us from your own perspective, either as a past intern, community coordinator, or organizers.
Okay, thank you for that question. Basically, one major challenge that participants do face while trying to apply is not having enough contribution on their GitHub. Okay, for you to be part of this program, you have to register on what we call GitHub Global Campus platform. And when you register there, after getting registration done, you have to apply to a particular project. Once you want to apply, you find out all the projects are grayed out. You cannot apply. Why? They will tell you that your contribution on GitHub is not enough. And some people reach out to me and be like, Rashid, I do push code to GitHub every time I work, and most of them push code to a private repository. And you are telling us you are working on an open source project, but then in the long run, you are pushing your code to a private repository. So the basic point is most people that want to participate, or before you can participate, you need to contribute to open source for a certain number of times. So if you are not an active contributor on GitHub right now and you are interested in this program, you have enough time to check out any repository, start contributing. Douglas talked about how you can get started. There was a talk yesterday that talked about how you can get started in open source. If you start today, contribute like in 1 month's time, you can be able to qualify to participate in the program. So that's the one major challenge that I've seen people facing, not having enough contribution on GitHub, and they are interested in the program.
Okay, thank you. I think I should ask Samson the next question to buy some time. So Samson, what strategies will you give applicants that want to apply to any of this program in order for them to be successful? I know a lot of persons are interested now because it's paid. So give them some strategies.
So I think that's a very good question, and thanks for asking that. I think he basically covered most of the instructions, which I think most people fail to understand. Is yes, you get paid for these programs, but the most important part is to make sure that you follow the guidelines of open source. Okay, so you want to do GSOC, you want to contribute to, again, list of this project. Pushing code is not exactly what people want to understand is, but you need to be able to engage. So for example, we spoke about GNOME earlier, and if you are interested in contributing to GNOME or GNOME, you basically have to have some sort of like interaction with the organization by, doing some sort of things, right? And then obviously when there's things like summer of code, they tend to focus on people with previous experience in that community, and it makes it a lot easier. So I would say before you do anything in any of these organizations, try as much as you can to make your research first. Before you ask any question, make research. What are these people doing? What is the stack? If it's code related, if it's not code related, make sure you make those research. And then again, look at the previous project before you apply. They tend to favor people with existing community experience, like former GNOME members or something. So I think that's something that you need to keep in mind. But if you don't have any affiliation to any of this organization, you can still contribute to a project and get paid, or in this case, get into the programs.
Okay, thank you. So before I go to the final question, I have one question for you. Looking back at where you started in your career before you participated, before you participated in your in the open source program that you participated in, how would you say this paid open source program has impacted your career?
Definitely, it has affected the trajectory of my career because it gave me access to network of people that have been in that space for a minute. So I got to listen to them, to learn from them. I also have like Google Season of Docs on my CV, which is a pretty great look. Also, the money is pretty nice. And yeah, basically, so yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so this is the final, it's not a question, but our audience are going back to the world now to continue contributing to open source. So they need motivational quotes. So having open source in mind, you are going to give them quotes that they can go with as they are going forward.
Support-driven motivation.
Okay, nice one.
Okay, so there's always one thing I keep in mind regarding open source is that open source does not care who you are. Open source only cares about your contribution. And if you start contributing to open source today, you never know where you can be in the next 3 or 6 months. I usually hear people say, what if I don't get it? What if they don't pick me after everything? Just do it, just apply. Try again if they don't pick you.
Thank you.
So for me, I always tell people that we have 3 types of luck. Luck by geographical location. You can't be in America and you have the same opportunities in Nigeria. Luck by birth, you may be born in a rich family and you may be born in a poor family. And number 3, luck by knowing that you're not lucky. So knowing that you're not lucky, you have to double your efforts because in the world of tech, the competition is on a global village. You have to compete with people who are outside there and also you're in here.
So yeah, I think they've basically said everything. Open source is great for your career. It gives you network and everything. It gives you the cloud that you need in your career. So yeah, definitely, it's something that you should do. Thank you.
All right. My own advice would be to just get started. Look for any project and start contributing to it. Then you, before you know it, you'll be part of the community and you can get to harness all this opportunity. But before I drop the mic, I gave a virtual talk today on a Google I/O extended, and I talk about how to harness this opportunity as a student. I will be making it live on YouTube, and I will tweet about it. If you are able to find me on Twitter, basically, you can get the video and watch it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And for me, I want to say that experience that you could not learn in school or you could not achieve in school, open source contribution is the way for you to achieve it. And it's now good because you can get paid while at it. Thank you so much, our dear panelists. Thank you, everyone.